Hi and welcome to the video. Everyone likes presents, and this is the season of giving. So I want to get my presents and use them to beat Pokemon FireRed and Leafgreen as a little Pokemon challenge. I won't catch any other Pokemon. Of course I have to use HMs in some way, and this time my team has to use them to get through the game. The first hurdle is using Cut, and I can only get 2 Pokemon until I have to use the first HM. That sounds a bit more complicated than my usual runs. That's why I want to find out, can I beat Pokemon FireRed with only gift Pokemon? I play in FireRed, but Leafgreen would be the exact same run, so it doesn't really matter which version to use. Let's talk about the rules. I can only use Pokemon I got as a gift. I can't catch any other Pokemon, even for HMs. I can't use any items in battle that includes any type of Pokeballs, but held items are allowed. And I play on set mode. That run might be interesting, so take your warm milk and some gingerbread, relax, and let's begin. The starter Pokemon has to be able to use Cut, which excludes Squirtle. I believe the run is significantly harder with Charmander, but I didn't use Bulbasaur before on this channel, so I choose Bulbasaur, and that adds a Christmas tree to the team. Name would be too long, so I shorten it to Chris Tree. Doesn't sound too bad. Anyway, the Grinch wants to stop me from getting my presents, and I have to defend myself with Chris Tree. This battle was way too close, but in the end, the good guys win as always. The early game will be very easy to do. Bulbasaurs were basically choosing the easy mode in FireRed and Leafgreen. Super effective against Brock, super effective against Misty, resist against Lieutenant Surge, and then being neutral against Erika? That is a dream. I try to skip as many trainers as I can, but I need at least the first grass type move to be able to beat Brock. I totally forgot the stats of Christree, since I was already so focused on Brock. It has a brave nature, very fitting. It increases attack and decreases speed. I don't really like decreasing speed, but that's fine. Overgrow is the usual ability, so nothing to see here. Going through Vaporeon Forest is always a nice sight. I still remember Christmas at 1999 when I received my first Pokemon game. It was Pokemon Blue, and I actually chose Squirtle first, because I was very perceptive and realized that Blastoise on the front cover might be in some form related to Squirtle in the game. Maybe it was just me. Anyway, I beat the first 2 bug trainer in Viridian Forest to receive Vine Whip and beat the last bug catcher with a combination of Leech Seed and Tackles. The first trainer in Brock's gym is skippable, and today is the day where I skip him as well. Brock is obviously not a strong opponent if you have an answer. If you don't, you have a Charmander or Rattata type situation. Losing until you receive a stronger move to finally beat him. Bulbasaur doesn't have that problem. In Gen 1 you can beat Brock on level 7 with just Leech Seed, but FireRed and Leafgreen is a bit harder, but not much. The first batch was basically handed to me, but it's the season of giving and Brock was very generous today. I showed off my present to a lot of people on the way to Mount Moon, and that made my Christmas tree shine even brighter, evolving into Ivysaur. After thinking about it for some time, I may have let it not evolve for some more level, because Razor Leaf is available 2 levels earlier that way. Oh well, that's fine, I guess. At the Pokemon Center right in front of Mount Moon is a nice guy who has a present for me. Or at least I thought it was one. He wants to trade it against 500 monies, and that is quite a lot. I could get like a soda or 2 with that amount of money, so I decline. Sorry, but that's too expensive for me. The next part of the game includes Misty and the rival Nugget Bridge. I think Misty is quite easy to do, depends on Sleep Powder, but the rival is really hard. With only one Pokemon, sand attacks are really dangerous to get hit by. If I hadn't evolved Crispy yet, it could have Razor Leaf pretty early, and that move would change everything here. Now I have to rely on Sleep Powder for easy battles, but it is what it is. I want to try Misty at that level. I wasn't sure if I'm strong enough or not. Staryu can be an issue with Water Pulse, but didn't confuse while Vine Whip deals a huge amount of damage. Super Potion doesn't really help and Staryu goes down, doing only a little bit of damage. Starmie on the other hand, I go for Sleep Powder since the move is too strong anyway and it hits. But not after getting nearly destroyed by a critical hit Swift. That's basically it for the battle. Starmie is not allowed to wake up, and I hit with 2 Vine Whips, which barely KO in the hand. Misty is defeated, the second badge is mine, and I can go on to battle the Grinch at Nugget Bridge. The Grinch at Nugget Bridge has 2 Pokemon which are very strong against my Ivysaur, Christree. The best strategy is to use Sleep Powder and then Leech Seed to burn the bird down. Gust deals way too much damage, it takes a while, but in the end Pidgeotto goes down, and Christree should have enough HP. Charmander is way worse than Pidgeotto because Emma could burn and that would end the battle on the spot for me. But I never get burned. The 1 HP was very scary, but I got back to beat the fire type. Very happy to see Ara here instead of Rattata. I could have just used Quick Attack to defeat my Ivysaur, and thankfully that didn't happen. This is a bit slow but necessary to safely win this fight against the Grinch. Maybe it wasn't necessary, Rattata's damage is quite low actually. Didn't expect that. 2 Vine Whips and the red is gone. I beat the rival, it wasn't too hard even though it could have been a lose at many points of the battle. While thinking about which Pokemon I can get in this run, I feel like they are basically the strongest Pokemon to get in any run. Which is awesome. I skipped Magikarp for 2 reasons. Until now I didn't battle a single wild Pokemon and I don't intend to do that for a long time. For one, I get more money this way, and since I don't have a lot of Pokemon in my team, well, only Cristry for now, I don't feel like I need a lot of additional experience points. I also skipped a lot of trainer and will skip every trainer on the SSN besides the rival. I hope this won't bite me in the end, but let's see. The Grinch is here to stand in the way to get HM cut. Pidgeotto does have some annoying moves, but I got Secret Power right before arriving at Bill. In my opinion, Secret Power is one of the strongest TMs to get in the early game. I switched up to Razor Leaf because it should KO at that point and Kadabra comes next, using Disable. That would have been a bit awkward, but it goes down in one go. Charmeleon is a beast. It deals a lot of damage, but I have Sleep Powdered the strongest move in this game. The first Secret Power is a bit below half, which is actually fine. I can use Leaf Seed to get the KO with Secret Power a turn later. Very dangerous game, but it worked out. Raticate is completely different level. I use Sleep Powder, but should have just used Razor Leaf to KO in 2 hits. But it worked out fine. A lot had to go wrong at this point to lose. The Grinch is defeated and I can get HM01 cut to battle the next gym leader. Unfortunately, I have to remove Secret Power now, but it's available again later in Celadon City. Lieutenant Surge is as hard as you might expect. So it's really easy. The Voltorb is fast and can deal no damage to me. Screech was actually the worst thing that it could have done. Pikachu is just a Pikachu. Yeah, that's it. Raichu was a bit embarrassing to be honest. First I wanted to check the damage and it was quite low, but for some reason I decided I have to go for Sleep Powder, miss first and then hit, just to see a full heal then turn after. That was very bad. Double Team is usually quite annoying but was fine in this particular battle. In the end, Raichu went down quite easily. I had to pop the Citrus Berry, which hurt a little bit, but I will manage without it. Lieutenant Surge is defeated and I can finally move on to the mid-game. I usually consider the first 3 gyms in Kanto the early game and the next 5 gyms the mid-game, where the Elite 4 is the late game. Rock Tunnel is very dangerous for teams without a super effective move against Geodudes and the 1 Graveler. I went through Rock Tunnel so many times. I know the path to Lavender Town like the back of my hand, but I never really explored inside. I think there are some good items, and there is also a move tutor. While battling all the hikers in Rock Tunnel, Cristry evolves into its final form Venusaur. A very pretty Christmas tree, it's very pretty. Arriving at Celadon City, I can finally grab the second team member of this run. The nice guy at the top of the apartment building has a nice present just for me. It's an Eevee. It's not ready yet, but I like a nice chimney. Santa has to bring the present somehow inside, and everybody knows it's via the chimney. I let Chimney evolve into a nice Flareon. It has a lax nature, increasing defense while reducing special defense. That is very fine to me and makes sense. Most chimneys are built by bricks and very sturdy. At least that's what I tell myself. My Chimney has the Flash Fire ability. That sounds very dangerous to be honest. Chimney battled some trainer in the Rocket hideout to get some money for Flamethrower and then went straight to Erika. I didn't heal and actually forgot to equip a berry, but Erika didn't stand a chance regardless. Victory Bell and Tangela went down in one go, and while Vileplume survived barely, I can first use Quick Attack and then go for the KO with Flamethrower. Erika was quite easy to do with Chimney at my disposal, but its power will decrease a lot now and especially against the Elite 4 later on. Giovanni was a naughty little boy and has an item I want. His team is very weak to Cristry. Rhyhorn and Onix are 2 Pokemon who really don't want to see a grass type attack. Kangaskhan is a bit different. It's a lot more tanky and able to withstand most attacks easily. So I put it to sleep, use Leech Seed and then grind it down a bit slower. It loses in some turns and Giovanni is defeated. While he runs away, he loses the Silph Scope, which I need to face the Grinch again. The Grinch waits at the Pokemon Tower and wants to stop me showing everyone my presence. Pidgeotto goes down to one of Chimney's flamethrower. Gyarados does not have a water type attack, but I switch into Crystry anyway. The battle takes a while because I don't have a good answer to it. The little Easter eggs. This is the wrong season. I use Sleep Powder for an easy switch into Chimney and burn them to the ground. Kadabra has no chance. Bite is super effective and defeats it in one go. Last is Charmeleon. It doesn't have a good move against Chimney and I can just use some more bite and then finish it off with a clean quick attack. The Grinch will never stop me, not with this attitude. The head of a fighting dojo is a really nice person. He gives out some free experience points and then gives you one of two presents. I chose Hitmonlee, since it looks like a nice and tasty gingerbread. G-Bread is added to the team and let's see. It has a lonely nature, increasing attack while decreasing defense. That is a very good nature, I like it. The ability is Limber, it can't get paralyzed. Very good. I really don't like paralysis. The next part of the game is very interesting. I'm not sure how to approach it the best way, but I will first go to the Safari Zone. I need Surf and a boulder moving HM. G-Bread can learn Strength, one of the better normal type damaging moves. Silph Co has a lot of good stuff to find. You can get a lot of stat enhancing items to sell and a lot of experience as well. I know the next big battles will be quite hard, so leveling up early might be the way while grabbing all the items in here. But Silph Co also has one battle, which might be the hardest battle of the run yet, the Grinch at Silph Co. I tried this battle so many times and in the end it was so easy to beat the Grinch at Silph Co it's really embarrassing for me to talk about. Basically every single try ended at Charizard. I need Chimney to reach the Fire Dragon while Crystry gets easily one-shotted by Flamethrower. And G-Bread gets KO'd from full HP by Wing Attack, which is quite sad to see. I knew from the beginning that Jolteon would be a better pick than Flareon for this run, but I chose not to use Jolteon since it makes a lot of battles way too easy. This would be one of them. Also Flareons are fluffy. I was so close to winning this try, but Cut missed 3 times in a row and when Charizard wakes up, it critically hits with Wing Attack. That was so crazy, but let's talk about the win. The Grinch starts with Pidgeot and the only one who can fight it is Chimney with Flamethrower. I need 2 while getting a lot of damage with Wing Attack in return. Against Gyarados I switch into Crystry. It has Sleep Powder and Leech Seed while Gyarados basically can only use Dragon Rage for any meaningful damage. It takes several turns, but it is a really safe way to beat Gyarados. Execute will always try to use Stun Spore and Chimney has Cherry Berry equipped to deal with the paralysis by removing the X in one go. At Alakazam begins the fun part, which I realized way too late. I have to switch out into Crystry first to set up Sleep Powder. Future Sight might be an issue, so I set up Leech Seed as well just to make sure the main character of this battle doesn't get hurt. After Future Sight hits, I switch into G-Bread to set up Bulk Up. That move pumps attack and more importantly, defense. That should allow me to survive a Wing Attack. After 2 Bulk Ups, I KO Alakazam. Unfortunately, it set up a Future Sight, so I need to end this battle quickly. Charizard, the strongest Pokemon, is here and Wing Attack nearly beats G-Bread after 2 Bulk Ups. That's crazy. Rock Slide needs to connect and KOs the Fire Flyer in one hit. That was quite close. Future Sight might have ended the battle again, but I came out on top. That battle was so amazing. This nice office worker has a present for me. It's a lapras. It will help me get to the destination I need to go, so I call it Rudolphine. Adamant Nature is perhaps the single worst nature it could have, increasing attack while decreasing special attack. But the Lapras is so strong it just won't matter, I hope. Water Absorb is a fine ability, maybe I can bait a water type attack against the champion, but I'm not sure yet. The naughty boy Giovanni is the final boss of Silph Co, and that battle was very easy. I really liked the 5-hit Fury attack into Poison Sting with Poison just to barely KO Rudolphine after a Horn attack. That was fun. Rhyhorn loses to Crystry, it's not even close. Kangaskhan was a bit more annoying, setting up Leech Seed and then switching to G-Bread just to nearly getting one-shotted was really bad. Last is Nidoqueen, but it doesn't have any relevant moves for some reason. Body Slam is fine, but that's it. I let G-Bread go and then continue with Crystry to finish the battle up. It takes a lot of time, since Crystry can't really deal damage while Nidoqueen can't touch my Venusaur at all. The battle was very easy, but I always feel like if Rival is hard, Giovanni will be easy. Don't know why. Sabrina is still to beat in this city, and so I go after her before meeting Koga. I got Shadow Ball a bit earlier for Chimney, and that is the best move to use here. Kadabra and Mr. Mime have no chance to survive the hit. I made a mistake against Venomoth using Shadow Ball, but it isn't part Psychic. My bad. Flamethrower solves that issue. Sabrina's ace Alakazam can deal a lot of damage with Psychic, but as long as Chimney still stands after getting hit, that Alakazam goes down. Sabrina is then out of Pokemon, but I never had issues against Sabrina. Maybe poison types had some issues here? I beat all the trainer on the way to Koga, and I let Rudolphine do the work. Psychic is such a strong move, and against Koga it's perfect. First Coughing has no chance to survive. Muck is a beast. It can tank so many hits. Rudolphine had a Pecha Berry against Poison equipped. Very good choice against Koga. I got some Psychics off and saw that another one might not be enough, so I used one Shockwave to put it into range and then finish it off with another Psychic. The second Coughing is similar to the first one, going down in one go. Koga's ace Weezing is very interesting. I always thought it to be tanky, but 2 Psychics and it's over. Maybe it's better physically? Koga is defeated and I can finally use Surf outside of battle. Usually I fly to Pallet Town and surf south, but I don't have fly in this run. I will go through the Seafoam Islands for a change. Only 2 more badges before the final part of the game. I think Blaine heavily depends on how good Rudolphine actually is. My team is quite underleveled, but can hit hard on the right typings. If Blaine's Pokemon go down in one hit, it might be possible without additional levels, but if they do not, I might have to level up some more. The reason is just, I have 4 Pokemon. But actually Christree can't do anything against Blaine, and Giblet might go down in one hit against Arcanine before it can even move. Chimney seems fine here, but I don't think Dig is good enough to beat most of his team. So Rudolphine basically has to carry the battle. And when Blaine is defeated, I assume Giovanni and the last Grinch battle might be not as bad, since Rudolphine can soft counter everything they have. The part Ice type is actually not good. The moveset is amazing. With enough money I should upgrade Shockwave to Thunderbolt, but depending on the Gyarados battles, I might not need it in the end. But let's see. Blaine, I usually want to make fun of him, but as of late he gives me a lot of trouble in certain runs. He's a fire type gym leader and for once I do have a Lapras in the form of Rudolphine. One Surf and Growlithe is defeated. Ponyta is faster, hits with Fire Blast critical and then goes down to Surf. That is bad. Of course Rapidash is faster and nearly KOs Rudolphine, but Surf connects and critical hits for the KO. I don't think it would have otherwise. Last Arcanine and Rudolphine is done. Going down to Takedown. I show Chimney next, but I underestimated the damage and used the wrong move. Should have been Dig, but it's too late now and my Flareon goes down. Christree could turn the tide of battle with Sleep Powder, but the Fire Dog didn't miss and KOs the Grass type in one big hit. My last hope is Giblet and it's faster? Okay, that's weird. I thought Giblet is quite slow actually. Blaine is done and after the battle I was still in disbelief and had to check the speed stat of my team and yeah. Giblet is the fastest Pokemon I have. Okay, I take the badge and move on to the last one. I actually thought this battle would be hard, and I was just wrong. The first Rhyhorn is down in one of Rudolphine's Surf. He chooses the second Rhyhorn, I assume because of Rock is super effective against Ice, but Surf is here to ruin his day. Now comes the hard part. Nidoqueen is quite tanky and I try to hit with Ice Beam to maybe freeze, even though that's a cheesy tactic. It might get the battle done faster. It doesn't KO and I trade Ice Beam with potions for a little while and defeat Nidoqueen with some HP left. Now comes Nidoking and I switch to Surf because it may one-hit KO since Rudolphine has a water type boosting item equipped. It survives and hits back super hard, but my Lapras is on 4 HP and Giovanni decides to heal Nidoking up, but my Surf connects and critical hits for the KO. That was amazing. Last is Dactyl and it wants to use Sand Tomb, but misses, and Rudolphine sweeps the whole team alone. I thought this was really funny. I would have won regardless with Christree maybe, but this battle showed again how strong Lapras is. Only the Grinch battle left before the final stretch of the game. I had many tries against the Grinch here, and I show the best one. Pidgeot comes first and Rudolphine always 2 hits at it with Ice Beam. Most of the times 2 wing attacks, but sometimes only 1 wing attack and a Feather Dance, which is useless. Rhyhorn is next and goes down in 1 Surf, so no big deal. Similar to Execute, it goes down in 1 Ice Beam. Alakazam is a tricky opponent. I switch into Giblet and try to deal some damage just to go down shortly after. It's important to get a clean switch into Chimney. It can use Shadow Ball and usually survives 1 Psychic, so Alakazam goes down. Here comes the fun part. Against Gyarados I switch into Rodolphine for Water Absorb to get back to full HP, then switching into Crystry for Sleep Powder and Leech Seed setup. It's tedious, but I have no better answer at this point in time. But here's the crazy part. Gyarados wakes up, I want to use Sleep Powder, but the Grinch switches into Charizard, but Sleep Powder misses. I try again and Charizard can't use Flamethrower because of Rain Dance, just so that Crystry goes down the turn afterwards. I use Rodolphine, but Rain perfectly stopped now. I could bring Charizard down by Flamethrower hits and burns, just so that I'm not able to win this battle anymore. I was so frustrated at this point. So many tries all ended in a failure because of stuff like this. I will level up some more and try again. I took a break to figure out on how to proceed, but thought, let's do it again. And this is the next try I did. The first 3 Pokemon went down as usual, saw a Feather Dance against Pidgeot, which may be very important for this try. Against Alakazam I switched out into G-Bread and was able to hit for some damage and then go down, unfortunately with Future Sight up. Hitmonlee is here to tank a big Psychic hit and then KOs with Shadow Ball, which is a good start, but Future Sight took it out. Gyarados against Venusaur, this strategy is nearly the same as before, but a bit more cheesy. First Sleep, then Leech Seed, but I just press on Sleep Powder the whole time. Very important if the Grinch decides to switch out again. When Gyarados woke up, it uses Rain Dance and I miss with Sleep Powder. Very good. That way I can switch into Rodolphine to gain HP back thanks to Hydro Pump. Unfortunately it uses Leer now, but goes down to Shockwave right after. That is very important. Full HP Rodolphine and Rain up against Charizard. Wing Attack does just barely below half, thanks to the 1 Leer before, and Surf does over half. Just survive the next Wing Attack and it's done. The rival is defeated and I can finally move into the Elite Four. That was crazy. The Elite Four will go very poorly, don't you worry. I need way more levels to have a chance, but let's see. The Elite Four will be very hard, but for an unusual reason. I didn't train any stats in particular and the nature on Rodolphine works directly against me. On top of it, I'm so low level I will get outsped by nearly everything. I think Lorelei is doable if I am able to either deal a huge amount of damage with Thunderbolt on Rodolphine or Crystry is faster to use Sleep Powder. The real issue should start at Bruno, because my best attacker into Bruno is also weak to fighting. That makes the dynamic of the battle quite bad. I usually don't like to rely on Sleep Powder so much, but if you are at a low level and don't deal enough damage, it's the only feasible way to push through. But let's say I am able to beat Bruno. The hard stop will be Agatha, because of her status moves. I can't rely on mine, but I do believe if Agatha is doable, Lance will be as well. The only issue Lance could present is Aerodactyl, because Rock is super effective against ice, and Crystry is not an option because of Wing Attack. I realize Aerodactyl is on paper the perfect counter. That's very bad. Maybe I have to rely on Quick Claw? I leveled everyone up to level 45. The stats are quite bad because I didn't train them in the first place. Pretty sure I will get completely destroyed and might need at least level 50, if not more, but let's see. Lorelei is the Ice-type Elite Four member, and the strategy is the same as ever. Go with Crystry first, use Sleep Powder, then Leech Seed, and proceed to use as many Razor Leaf as it takes to KO Dugong. Slowbro is actually the same, Sleep Powder, Leech Seed, you know the drill. Goes down in some turns as well. Now Lapras is the real issue. I switch immediately into Rodolphine to tank Ice Beam, and then we fight each other for a long time, until one goes down, and unfortunately, it's my Lapras. But G-Bread is here to save the day and use a nasty Brick Break to finish Lorelei's ace off. Cloyster doesn't seem too bad, it just takes a while until it finally goes down and I can face the last Pokemon of Lorelei. Which is Jinx, and it's faster than any of my team, and I get the taste of my own medicine. Seeing first Sleep and then attract over and over again until G-Bread goes down. Hitmonlee has a Chester Berry exactly for this encounter, and Shadow Ball barely doesn't KO. Very sad to see. But full restore is a given, and I can use another Shadow Ball, which KOs this time. That's amazing. Lorelei is down, the first of the Elite Four members defeated, only 4 more battles to do. I tried several times against Bruno and believe the battle is too luck dependent to actually win. Without Crystry I can't KO most of Bruno's Pokemon and have to rely on misses. G-Bread is somewhat useful here depending on how the battle went. For example, against Onix it's fine, or against the opposing Hitmonlee it might be okay. I feel like this would change drastically with several more levels. If I had a really fast and hard-hitting Pokemon, this might not be an issue. Or if I had used Gyarados, this might have been okay as well. But Gyarados are too strong, right? Anyhow, I will just level up to level 50 and see what's going on then. I trained up to level 50 and Eevee trained everyone, so this should be a big difference now. Christy is first against Onyx and the Razor Leaf just destroys this rock and ground type Pokemon. Hitmonchan is a bit more dangerous and I use my trusty strategy again, first Sleep Powder and then Leech Seed, because I just don't have enough damage and that Pokemon deals too much to anyone else. It wakes up once for Rock Tomb and lowered speed is very dangerous. I use this opportunity to switch into G-Bread and just use Bulk Up. I thought Hitmonchan was in full restore range and was scared it wakes up, but it didn't and I can freely do another one. After that it's sweeping time. Brick Break beats Hitmonchan easily. Hitmonlee is next, but it's weak physically and goes down. Bruno's Ace Machamp could survive one, but I don't need to figure that out. It was just a crit for the KO. Last Onyx and my team with Christy and Rodolphine is enough, even if G-Bread would go down. Bruno was really easy once my team was set up correctly. Let's hope the other ones are easy as well. I thought Agatha should be fine, but I always forget that being faster is very important for every battle. The first Gengar is annoying with Confuse Ray, but I still hit and it barely survives. I use that opportunity to switch into Christy, while Agatha uses a full restore. No, I want to put it to sleep and then switch back into Chimney to continue with Shadow Balls until it is defeated. It woke up and used another Confuse Ray, but Chimney didn't care and just hit through the confusion. Very nice start. Golbat is next and I switch out into Rodolphine because I need all the health on Chimney I can get. Air Cutter is a very nasty attack, but fortunately didn't flinch even once, and Golbat went down after some ice beams. Now Arbok's a bit strange to deal with. I use Psychic to put it at about half, while my Lapras goes down to Sludge Bomb. Of course Chimney can come back in for an easy dig. It should KO from that position. Agatha's Ace Gengar 2 is faster and has Hypnosis, but it tries to go for the KO instead. Shadow Ball deals way over half and Citrus Berry pushes it out of KO range. An opposing Shadow Ball leaves me with nearly no HP left, while Chimney now gets to KO the Gengar. That was very stressful. Last is Haunter, but it's slower and has way less defenses, which is an easy KO for my Flareon. Agatha goes down and that leaves only one Elite Four member left to defeat. Lance the Dragon Master and last of the Elite Four is very strong, but I have answers to deal with them. Gyarados is first against my Lapras and Thunderbolt does not KO, which is very sad to see. But Bite deals so little damage it doesn't really matter. Full restore is used, but I just critical hit KO, which didn't matter since I am faster. Now here's Aerodactyl, the worst opponent. It is faster and has ancient power, but it deals about half and I just barely don't KO. Citrus Berry is very important as it allows me to take another hit, and in full Lance fashion, Hyper Beam is used, but Rodolphine hangs on and pushes Aerodactyl back to the Pokemon Center. Amazing. Dragonair is next, but I have to switch out since my Lapras has one more job to do. G-Bread is here and can tank a hit or two of Outrage, while it beats down Dragonair. If I had known that it barely survives, I should have used Bulk Up first, but maybe next time. Lance's Ace Dragonite is here and I go for a Rock Slide, but it misses, which you know, it's bad. G-Bread goes down and Rodolphine is back in to deliver the finishing blow to Dragonite, beating it in one hit. It was a crit, but I hope it was enough anyway. Now last is Dragonair 2 and I just go for it. Doesn't KO on like 1 HP and my Lapras goes down. It's locked into Outrage, so I can just use Chimney and the Quick Attack to win. Lance is down and he was very easy. As I said before, it all hinged on Aerodactyl and it seemed it did. The final opponent of the run is the Grinch. I hope it works out, but let's see how it goes. First is Pidgeot and I use Rodolphine with Ice Beam. Pidgeot is fast and uses Sand Attack, so let's hope I still hit every time. Another beam and Pidgeot is defeated. The first one is down. Rhydon comes next and I just press on Surf and I hit. I love that the opponent thinks Rhydon could beat the Lapras. Executor can be very annoying and I need Rodolphine for later. I switch into Chimney and Light Screen is used. Not a problem, I have Shadow Ball ready for this reason. It hits and reduces special defense, which is amazing. Sleep Powder is used against Chesterberry and a Flamethrower beats the opposing Christmas tree. Gyarados seems really bad, but I have the old and reliable technique with Christy to beat it. Just using Sleep Powder and Leech Seed until it goes down. It takes a long time because of a full restore, which I knew and played into, but in the end, the Flying Water type goes down to a tree. Against Alakazam is not much to do, besides going for Sleep Powder, and it did work out. That is crazy. This strategy is quite effective but takes a long time. I want to win, so what can I do? Leech Seed and a series of Cut finishes the Psychic type off. Last is Charizard, the strongest Pokemon. Before my Venusaur can even do anything, the Christmas tree is burned to the ground. I chose G-Bread next, and of course Aerial Ace is here to ruin the fighting type in the process. But what did I expect? I use Rudolphine next, but switch into Chimney to fight fire with fire. Even though I won't use the fire boost, I don't even know why I did that. Anyhow, I spammed some Shadow Balls until the last second and pivot into Quick Attack just to get down against the mighty Fire Dragon. My last Pokemon is Rudolphine and I just have to connect with Surf, and that I did, defeating Charizard and the Grinch. I stopped him from ruining the holidays, and that answers the question: can I beat Pokemon FireRed and Leafgreen with only gift Pokemon? Yes, I can. The run was a lot of fun and I could use the strongest Pokemon I could find for once. Not catching any Pokemon felt a bit wrong, but it worked out fine in the end. I think the run is a bit easier with Jolteon instead of Flareon. Just Erika might be a bit harder to beat, but Flareon is so fluffy and nice, what can you do? I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions or have any advice for the run, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching and I see you in the next one.